Mic is off. And we're good. Okay. So just going to jump right in here. And I've got Jay again today, which is cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's working on. So without further ado, let me get him in here. And 1 second. And okay, Jay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, just got to turn the. Okay, perfect. Well, you are on with me, and
Yeah.
we're gonna lose the comments here. All right. So we found out. My wife found out that you can order liquor to be delivered to your house.
Yes, I heard that. I heard that you can do that now.
So she was really excited and put an order in right away. So I think she and her friends are gonna do a Zoom drinking session of some kind after the
And
kids have gone to bed.
yeah, I think that's I think that's kind of turning into a thing now.
Yeah, it totally is. So I had to laugh at that, but then I'm like thinking, you know what? Why don't you put something in for me? So
Yeah, why not, man?
I'm more of
There's no
a
problem.
I'm more of a whiskey connoisseur, uh,
Yeah.
and but my wife likes all sorts of interesting things. And hold on a second. Yeah. So my wife likes tequila, so that's what she ordered.
Okay.
And I can't say I'm a fan, but that's okay. That's okay. We each have our own thing. So yeah, we got some of that coming in soon. How about you? What are you drinking
What am I
when
up
you're
to?
drinking?
Oh, when I'm drinking. So the only I've actually been I mean, it's been probably a few years now, maybe 3 or 4, where I really haven't had more than like I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 drinks all year. Um just because I've, like health and wellness reasons and um so but what I've been trying to find lately just to like share with some friends is they're sour beers and they're from Brattleboro, Vermont.
Oh, cool. What? How do you make a sour beer?
Actually I don't know. That's a good question, but I like them. I think they kind of taste like a mix between um like lemonade and beer almost. Um they definitely have that like really sour punch to them. And so I've been trying to get my hands on that specific one, and it doesn't look like any of the places in the area have it currently. Not that they don't carry it; they just don't like have it currently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it sounds intriguing. I'm not a huge beer drinker, but I'm always up for trying something new, and that does sound pretty cool.
Yeah, they're. I mean, I think it's really cool. It might maybe it's more of like a niche thing than I realize, but I always have fun. Just having one or two, whenever.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So how was work today?
Good. It was a busy day. I mean, I was up at up at 6 and then working by 6:30, and I pretty much worked straight through till about noonish today. So I had a nice productive day, which was good.
And how we last talked, you were doing the remote fitness, and how does that work? How's that working out?
Right now it's going well. I mean, obviously it's still in its infancy, so we're learning some stuff as we go, but what we're providing is pretty straightforward. So it doesn't really. The nice thing is it doesn't necessarily require a lot of back and forth. So it's more of a broadcast than it is like a interactive class for the most part.
So is it kind of like what you like those Peloton commercials, but just So like you and a bunch of other people is more one on one.
No, it is. It's a group of people, so it's anybody in our gym's kind of Facebook page that have access to it, and we're actually kind of opening it up to whoever would like to come. So if you know anybody that would like some free online programming, we have that available.
Free. I like the free part of that.
Yep. Yep. For right now, that's kind of what we're doing. We've asked people that are already members if you have the means to help support us as we, figure out what's going, like our direction, all that kind of stuff. It's always appreciated, but we're
Yeah.
basically opening it up to whoever wants to come in for right now. So if you're interested, I can definitely give you the information.
Yeah, absolutely. And we could put it right up here and share it. I could do the same as I did before. Just have it down in the details of
Perfect.
this. But I think selfishly, I'd love to find out more myself. I certainly need it
Yeah,
because I'm going crazy. I didn't exercise at all today. It's just been kind of one thing after the other. Haven't been able to really get away. So
that's a lot of, that's most people's situation right now, at least, especially people that are used to going to a gym and then can't. Like, we get it. So we're trying to just help out the community right now in the hopes that people just kind of remember us as stuff starts to get back to normal, whenever that may be. So
yeah, and I think people will. If they really kind of get used to it and really get a lot out of it, I'm sure you're going to see a lot of folks joining you again.
yeah, I hope so.
Right. So what are you drawing there? Oh, it's the this is fine dog, right?
Yeah, so it's the This Is Fine Dog, but instead of fire, there's a bunch of like COVID-19 molecules all around him.
That's awesome.
Decided to take a break from my other stuff, at least for our stream, and I was almost going to use this as a warm up, and then I started kind of diving a little deeper, and I was like, maybe I'll tackle this for our stream today.
Yeah, great. I was thinking about that too, because I've got some. I started a couple things at the jam yesterday, and I thought I'd pick it up, but I don't know. I think I want to start out with just some wackiness, some silly cartoon characters, which is what I love to draw.
Yeah, so yeah, go for it, man. Like, that's what I've been doing. I've been trying not to put any pressure on myself to learn. Usually I like to make sure that a certain percentage of what I'm doing every week that's art related is learning. Um, because I don't ever want to stagnate. I don't ever want to be like, hey, like, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I'm, putting out stuff that's better than I have in the past. And, I don't ever want to get stuck being comfortable where I am. I always want to be, striving for that next level.
Yeah, that's a good attitude.
Thanks, man.
There's always more to learn, so you don't want to ever stop that. And you're doing all the watercolor too, which is something I really want to try out. I haven't had a chance to do much of it yet. Unlike my
Oh man, watercolor is tough. It is,
yeah, yeah,
but it's definitely rewarding and fun once stuff starts to click. At least, like, I'm not trying to pretend like I have any kind of skill with it, but it is, from what I have done. It is really fun and rewarding once stuff starts to make a little more sense.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of the kids that go to Matt's jam are really really talented there. My daughter likes the watercoloring too, and I'm always amazed at how natural it is, but to them, not to me.
Yeah, I feel like watercolor is, you need so much like finesse for it. Um, that it's just very, very challenging. I don't know. I feel like you have to just, I mean, just like when you're starting out, you just have to really be willing to fail a lot before it starts to come together.
Yeah, I get that.
which can be hard because like a lot of people don't like how they feel when they continually fail at something. And I think
Yeah.
that's like one of the most challenging things about any kind of artistic pursuit is that balance of I'm gonna have to suck at this for years on really start get any good at it.
Yeah, that's a funny way to put it. Got to admit, I'm gonna suck at this and get comfortable with that, right?
Yeah, for a long time. Like you're gonna suck at it for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, and that's just, I mean, that's not me trying to be negative, but like, there are very few people who can naturally look at something without having any kind of practice. Um, and it just comes without a lot of effort.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people that have spent 20 years of their life putting in the effort, and now it's a little less daunting. But even those people are always trying to better themselves.
Yeah, and they try new stuff too.
Yep. I think this guy's really fun. I don't know why.
It's spot on for that dog though. That's awesome.
So what else have you guys been doing to occupy your time throughout the times here?
I'm trying to just stay in touch with folks. Like I just had another conversation with a friend of mine haven't spoke to a little while, um, and she reached out to me, so that was kind of cool. And she's doing some YouTube videos herself to pass the time, and it was good to catch up. And yesterday, my mother-in-law had a birthday. I think she's 81 now, if I'm not
Oh
mistaken.
wow.
Yeah, so it's not easy for her too. I mean, she's kind of socially isolated, um, like we all are. But you know, that at that age, you have to be careful, right? So
Oh yeah, very careful.
yeah, so she's got somebody who comes into the house to help her out, and I think she's doing okay. But yeah, it can be lonely.
Well, that's good though. I'm glad that she's doing well um and healthy and doing what she needs to do to stay that way.
Yep. Do you have any clientele that are older that you work with?
Um, no,
Okay.
no, I don't. Not in person anyway. I have a couple people who I work with that are, I mean, older. I would say, not like lock yourself in your house age, but
Right.
um, but yeah, I mean, and that's all being done virtually, so there's no need to worry, at least on that side of things, which is kind of nice.
Whoa. What was that? Was that you or me?
Um, I think that was me.
Okay.
I see a lot of artists are still going through with some of their like Kickstarter type stuff, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, yeah, and it's I'm encouraged that some of them are getting their funding too. Especially in these uncertain times, it's sometimes it's tough to to put some money out there to
Yeah, I mean,
because you don't know what's going to happen. You know?
you want to support people, but like you don't want to risk anything going on with you,
Yeah.
like your stability.
Well, exactly. If you got a family to support, you don't want to risk anything. But yeah, it's heartening to see that that there are folks out there getting their passions funded.
Yeah, I think it was. I think Jake Parker just launched a Kickstarter and was very quickly successful for doing so.
Do you know what the Kickstarter was for?
It was Jake Parker released an art book,
Oh, an art book. Okay.
and if if I remember correctly, it was very well funded very quickly, which is good for him. Like that's unbelievable.
Yeah, that is awesome. All right, I had some. Yeah, I think it was the. Is it the Ethington brothers? Am I getting that right?
Yep. You're right. I can't remember the correct pronunciation, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I really should get my Instagram up there and confirm that. He throwing out random things on YouTube, but anyway, yeah, they have some how-to drawing books that are incredible, and so much of it's free that they just throw out there too.
Yeah, I've seen all those. Those are definitely kind of cool.
Let's see.
I haven't bought one. I've been wanting to, but I kind of feel like um I just need to usually budget elsewhere, but eventually I'll get my hand on some. What I'd really like to do first, to be honest, is get some of those Marvel how to draw books.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Those are
like the Stan Lee
not
ones, or the Stan Lee one, or some other.
just called how to draw, and I can't remember. They're not in print anymore. I think like they go on average for like $80 a book.
Oh my.
Uh, and I can't remember how many of them there are, but I know they're very useful, and not that mixed with the fact that they're out of print, um, makes them very valuable and hard to find.
Gotcha. Yeah. Wow. That kind of explains the price, certainly. Let's see.
Yeah, so you can find them online, but they're just not cheap.
Okay, here's a link. It's Etherington Brothers, and they've got how to think when you draw is one of the books that they do,
Yep.
and they got like a 3-volume set that's on Kickstarter right now, or will be in May of 2020, and I'm guessing they're going to get funded really quickly.
Yeah, their stuff always goes very fast.
And I think they're in the UK or something because I think that's where everything's shipping from. And they don't do in-person stuff here in the States. Let's see. I'm going to switch to, I might lose the audio. I mean, I'll still be able to hear you, but no one else will. But let me switch to the desktop for a second. Yeah, and I can't, nobody can hear you, but I just want to throw this up quickly. So just showing my Instagram feed and Etherington Brothers. So you can check that out. Amazing stuff. Great tutorials. This one's great on shadows. Really cool. Man, I could just go through my Instagram feed and have fun with it because there's so many great arts up there. Let me just switch back. All right, here we are. We're back. All right. So I'm just doing some doodling here with a little rabbit guy. Gotta quickly run a tech pen over it.
Love that tech pen.
Yeah.
I think that's the direction I'm going in right now.
Yeah. I really got to learn more of the brush pen techniques, but it's tough
I've been getting into the brush pen. I've been getting into it.
It's tough to maintain good control.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, but I mean, I don't know. I'm trying.
Someone's excited.
Yep. They bark, and then my dog barks.
So like 101 Dalmatian, right? The Twilight bark or whatever it
Pretty much. You guys just have your cats, right?
Yep, three cats. They're not as loud as that, but they can be in the morning when they need to be fed.
Oh. Do they ever like walk on your head and stuff to wake
Constantly, yeah, constantly. I said, get the heck up and feed me, darn it.
that would that would bug me.
Yeah, yeah. It can get old.
Hey. Yep.
It's,
Sorry, man.
no, it's all good. It's funny.
All right. This is this is fun. I'm glad we're able to do this. It
Yeah.
definitely helps get that social interaction going, and
Plus, get the writing bug or the drawing bug out of you, if that's at all possible. But it's good to get that going too.
I don't know, for some reason my brain has just been ready to rock with art lately.
Yeah. Stoke it for all it's worth when it happens, because you never know.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Sometimes I feel, I get a downtime and I have a hard time getting out of that funk, where you just don't want to do any drawing or do anything really.
Yeah. Oh,
Just let me just browse the internet for the day. It's like, nah, you got to stay out of that. Got to get yourself out of that mode.
yeah, it's hard to not step out of that.
Right.
What do you got going on over there today? Talk to me about this guy.
The rabbit thing I'm making?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a doodle. He's nothing special. But I, I think I really like doing the anthropomorphic characters, the funny Looney Tune kind of like inspired characters more than anything else. And whenever I stray off of that, I struggle. So it's mostly because it's not something I do these other things and I don't enjoy them as much. So,
Yeah.
but I keep trying to push myself in other directions. But sometimes you really need to kind of go back to what you get joy out of. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, if you're not enjoying it, then you're not.
yeah, well it's a good exercise to do it. Like yesterday, I was doing these speed drawing. Where did those go? I had a whole bunch of them, and I wasn't happy with how they were coming out. They looked like garbage, frankly, but it was okay. It was a good exercise, but it was definitely out of my comfort zone.
That's the hardest part is staying outside your comfort zone and growing, right?
Yeah, really. Yeah. So I don't feel bad about sticking with what I know, but yeah, it's important to grow too. So like here was one I was doing, and I kind of see the foot's a little out of whack, but that's otherwise it's okay. But it was all basically there's a site where you can it'll cycle through images of professional
Oh
models,
yeah. Yeah.
and you just put a timer on it. You say, I want to have 2 minutes on, and it'll shift to the next image in 2 minutes. So you got to quickly sketch it out, and you don't really even have time to do anything more than the basic gesture. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And then it like forces you to kind of like almost shut your brain off and do it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, here they are. I threw them in the trash. So let's see what we got. There's that guy. That guy's hard. Let's see. And that was supposed to be a ballerina.
I like it, man.
A baby with a creepy face. I should have just kept the face off. It would have been better. And yeah, just some wackiness here. But anyway.
That you're growing and attacking it. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's good.
I have no real complaints. All right.
Yeah, this is cool, man. What think any big plans like for the week? Do you guys have anything like specific going on, or are you just trying to get through all navigate all the school
Well,
stuff?
that is a big challenge, frankly. So if anything we can get beyond that is just bonus. But honestly, I think it's a struggle. It's a struggle, and I had kind of a false start here because I had the the stream on pause just because I was up there helping my son a little bit, and I probably can't stay too long on this because you know it's I don't want to put it all on my wife to make sure these kids are doing what they need to do. But it's a heavy expectation for the kids. I got to be honest, because they're not getting direct interaction with their teachers. They're not using Zoom, or they're not using the Google Hangout Meet like a lot of schools are. But for some reason, our school system has decided they're not going to do it, at least not yet. And I think it's causing problems. I really think that any concerns they may have will be way outweighed by the benefits the kids will receive from direct interaction with their teachers.
Sure. Makes sense.
So I really hope they rethink this. And
Well, I mean, stuff's changing by the day, so there's no reason to say that they won't or
yeah,
couldn't.
yeah, I kind of have high hopes for that because they're discussing. I think they're just trying to figure out how to make it work. That's their big concern. Because I was mentioning on one of the other broadcasts, my sister-in-law does this. I mean, she has younger students, but yeah, every day she's doing a broadcast to them. She's even reading to them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and she's got a projector, so she can put it kind of like what I'm doing here with my drawing. She's got a camera that she's projecting down onto the pages, and she's just reading to the kids that way. So that's clever. So
Wow,
so
that's
it
great.
shows me they can do it. They just kind of need that confidence that it's going to be okay.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, they'll get their act together eventually. Probably when this is all over.
Yeah, when they have like a plan for God forbid anything like this ever happening again.
Yeah, well, I certainly hope we learn some lessons out of all this, and the next time, heaven forbid there's a next time, but if there is, that we're a little bit better prepared for it.
Well, I think the big thing is going to be and this is just speculation because I don't research or read, but an article that I at least read an article this morning about I think it was a grocery store or a grocery supply company down in Texas that they saw this coming. Like they started prepping for this in terms of having like plans for pandemics like for years. They've run drills and they've like kind of set aside like a strategic plan for if something like this happened. And I guess they were in contact with China like at the beginning of January, and they started to change what they were doing, like I think right at the beginning of March, like how they were operating and just like prepping for it, because it seems like most of the country didn't.
Yeah,
And
right.
it was kind of cool to see how these guys have come to the rescue of a lot of other grocery stores because they were prepared. They were ready.
That's amazing. I did not hear that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
To
think
some big supplier down in I believe it was Texas.
so? Not a grocery store, but a supplier of grocery stores.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was either one or the other. I apologize. I probably should have done more research before I brought it up, but
No, that's quite okay.
it was either like a supplier for the grocery stores or a grocery store itself that just had a huge reach. Um, but yeah, so and I
Cool.
read it. I was like, man, I was like, that's awesome that like this grocery store chain or company whatever was more organized and ready than like our government.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised about that. Frankly, I mean, I think it's all about the size of things. Like I used to work for a huge company, and they it's like the Titanic. You can't turn it on a dime. And as good as your intentions may be, you're limited by the fact that you are this behemoth organization. And I think our government is the same way. There's good intentions there, but frankly, it just it doesn't work sometimes. It doesn't work at the speed you need it to.
Yeah, you wish.
Yeah.
There's no there's definitely no going back, like we can't just flip a switch, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting to see how the world responds.
I think how we treat China has to change a bit too.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, they're not being exactly honest and open and helpful in all this, and I think they're just trying to deflect the blame a bit. Um, and it's understandable, though not acceptable.
Yeah.
And so much of our infrastructure is is dependent on them, and
Yep.
and our supplies of critical medications as well, and that has to change too. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong
I
with
mean,
being global and thinking that way, but yeah, I mean, critical infrastructure has to have a backup.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, I think everyone is seeing how I think almost every organization that there is needs to think about what would happen if something that affected their business happened again. Like, how do they respond? And hopefully, this will get people's minds going so that they take that seriously.
Yeah. All right. I think there will be change eventually.
Yeah, I think there has to be.
Okay, I had an eraser in here somewhere. Probably one of the cats took. Oh, there it is. Yeah. They do that though. They'll grab like something like this, and they'll run upstairs with it.
My dog ate one of my like one of those like pliable erasers.
Oh yeah, the gummy ones. Yeah. Oop.
He got a hold of it, and like I just walked out of the room to get like I don't know, to get like a seltzer or something, and I came back and he had it like he was like chewing on it, kind of like I thought this was food, man.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I don't know, that was fun.
Yeah. Yep. Different challenges you have with different kinds of pets.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I'd want a cat stepping on my stuff if I left the room for 2 seconds.
Oh, they won't just step on it. They'll plop down right on top of it.
Yeah.
They do that all the time.
All right. Just adding some shadow here.
All right. I think this little guy's done. All right.
Yeah, same here. I think this guy's pretty much done. Thought that came out kind of
It's time. Yeah, that's perfect. I love it. So let's. I'll throw a couple things that I was working on in the jam. This is my fighter, and this was at Free Lunch Studios. Matt Ryan does the broadcast on Mondays. What used to be an in-person thing, when
Yep.
Jay and I would go over his studio in person. Now it's just all virtual.
Yep. For the time being, we'll get back to it.
And the other thing I want to work on with this guy right here, kind of getting back to my anthropomorphic. So I was trying to do some details around the stump. Let's see.
Oh, cool. I like
Thanks.
the pose.
Yeah, I didn't have a reference for this one. I think it came out okay.
Yeah, the the bark is hard. Like I feel like you just have to like I'm definitely not great at certain aspects of it, but like I feel like it has to be so like organic and you just need to like have be confident and just throw lines down,
Yeah, you're right, and
which is hard. It's hard.
it is hard, and I'm not sure how I'm going to approach it, frankly. But I'm just going to kind of go for it with the pen and see what happens. And if it screws up, it screws up, and it's not the end of the world. Frankly, I threw this together pretty quickly, so. But yeah, these organic parts, like plant life, is definitely something I have struggled with. Uh, Probably will continue to. But
Hmm.
I think one thing that really makes things come to life is the right amount of shadow behind them. So even just like a little rock there, if you just figure out where the light source is coming in and just get that shadow in there, suddenly it just pops off the page.
I agree. All right, because this is not necessarily something I care a lot about, I'm going to just do some colored pencil.
Cool. Throwing down some yellow. It's hard to tell in the light.
This is goldenrod.
Ah, fancy.
How they get some of their names, I don't know.
I don't know.
I've never taken the time to like really learn how to properly use colored pencils, so this should be interesting.
I don't know. Is there a right or wrong way? I guess there probably is. I don't know
I mean,
myself.
I've seen people do some amazing things with colored pencils, and I look at it, and then I look at like what I do with them, and I'm like, what I do looks like, like a 2-year-old, and I don't know, I don't understand it. It's like a whole nother skill that I've never even dipped my toe into. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just kind of like we were talking about, so much to learn.
Yep. Like bark. I really don't know what I'm doing here. Just kind of throwing in little details.
Yeah, exactly. And you learn as you go, and then check out more reference next time or whatever it is, and I think I'm gonna try and make these COVID-19 things like green.
Yeah. I don't know what I don't know if they even have colors. I never really understood that. I think they just add colors to give it like a
Yeah,
to make it look
yeah, I think.
cool or something. I don't know. Uh,
What color is his hat? I don't know.
Well, there's probably pretty much a ton of reference for that guy, right?
Yeah, yeah, there's plenty of it. I want to do some new stuff, but I think that'll come with the molecule things. So is there any art stuff coming up that you're excited about?
I tell you, nothing. I mean, it's all seems like everything's on hold.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Or is there anything that you're looking forward into investing in or doing once this whole thing evens out?
I think I'd like to invest more into like some more studio stuff if I keep up with this YouTube thing. I there's light stands and lights I'd love to purchase,
Cool.
but I'm keeping it purposely very inexpensive just because I have no idea if this is going to be a thing or not. You know,
Yeah,
but
of course.
I want to explore it. I definitely want to explore a bit more.
I think that's great.
Yeah, and I think it keeps. I think we talked about this. It keeps me committed to keep drawing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know.
I mean, that's huge. I mean, and that's hard, believe it or not. It's hard to, sometimes you get in a funk and you don't have any reason to draw. You don't have a project to work on. You don't have like a date that you're setting for something.
Yeah. How about you? Anything you're going to be investing in?
Um, I mean, there are some art books coming up, but I mean, the last thing I should be doing is spending money on anything like that. Um,
Yeah.
so I probably, I probably won't be doing that, but I'm just trying to, I'm just actually looking forward to different stuff that may be coming through like next year, like all the events that were canceled this year. I'm just trying to kind of keep an eye out for when they start selling tickets because I imagine that they're going to be some very reasonably priced tickets for next year
I would think
because
so.
they're going to really wanting people back. So that's kind of I don't know. That's kind of what I'm doing. That's what's kind of on my radar right now. Again, not that I'm making any kind of crazy purchases, but I think I could potentially get some good deals on stuff that could be coming down the pipeline if it goes well. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's definitely going to be that. I would love it.
and so like whether it's like a Comic Con or like an art specific event, like I'd love to go to THU um or like just like a big Comic Con or something like that, and so I think that's kind of what I'm looking forward to next is like, even though it may not happen this year, it just allows me more time to save up money and make sure that I get to one next year.
Right. Yeah, there was that big Mohegan Sun Comic Con, right? The one in Connecticut.
I know there's GamerCon and then there's Terrificon maybe.
Maybe that was a Terrificon.
I can't remember if that happened this year before everything started to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it did. I think that was coming up.
Well, that sucks. That's
Yeah,
ugh.
I
Feel
know.
bad.
You think of all those vendors that would. This is the big thing of the year.
Well, the vendors, then there's like, and again, I don't know how any of this works, but like think about just the companies that exist solely to run these events.
Yeah.
Like what, like Jesus, what happens to them?
They're taking a major hit. There's no question about that.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that affects next year in terms of what people even do for next year.
Yep.
But yeah, J.A.W. Cooper drops a really awesome print next week. Um, Again, obviously all events are canceled, but I'm also looking to go to Luca Comics and Games next year if I can. It's in Italy.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
Cool.
just because there's so many guys that go to that. There's so many of the European guys that almost never come to the U.S.
Right.
Uh, so if I could make the trip, meet some people that I've always dreamed of meeting, and then as well as go over with enough to get some commissions, I think that'd be like the ultimate nerd art trip.
Have you ever done anything like that before?
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been so focused on just kind of life and career stuff for the past like 7 years that I haven't done anything like that ever.
Yeah, I gotta admit I've never done anything like that either. I mean, I think of doing those things to, just for a fun vacation, not really thinking about exploring my art interests there too. But,
Yeah, I mean,
but I mean, considering what all the classics and the rich art culture coming out of Italy, I mean, it is the destination.
not right now.
No, nothing is right now. But
Yeah, anybody's going to Italy for fun right now.
no, unfortunately, no. They are really in dire straits there.
I like that. I think I'm done with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, I'm liking how this stump is coming along. I gotta admit, I was really nervous about it, but the bark is starting to look okay.
Yeah, that looks really good. like the darks on the side, and yeah, I like it.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. I think I'm gonna take my time with this. I don't usually do that, unfortunately. So.
I'm gonna slowly work on this guy later.
Oh yeah, I saw that on your Instagram feed. Was that one of your live draws?
Yeah, I mean, I've almost just been live drawing every night just to say hi to people more than anything. I'm like, yeah, I'm drawing anyway. If anybody wants to stop in and just say hi, then so be it.
That is cool.
But unfortunately, man, I do have to go. I have to make a work call at last minute. I didn't realize I had to. I apologize.
No, that's quite okay. I should really call it here myself. See how the kids are doing upstairs. So
Yeah, make sure they have started burning the place down
yeah,
yet.
and I don't want my wife to start drinking without me.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Jay. Hey, it was great chatting with you. Great drawing with you.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do this again soon.
I'd like that. Awesome. All right, take care.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. All right. So that was cool. Jay stopping in. I'm going to wrap this up and just go up, see how the kids are doing, see how everyone's doing. But honestly, I had a great time. I'm glad I got a chance to do this. And I'm happy with how this is coming out. I think I'm going to have to keep working on this. And it was actually Matt who told me to keep focusing on the stump and the surrounding area, less focus on the character, which I like. I'm going to keep doing that. Anyway, let me wrap this up. So again, this is Trapsis. This was, I think, episode 4. I think I mistakenly called yesterday's episode 4. This is actually episode 4.